Om Swastiastu. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you are doing well. We from 6th group will present about our material, but before we start, let us introduce ourselves. Me as the first presenters, my name is Komang Yuliastuti, and my partner as the second presenters, her name is Putu Eka Artajayanti. And our material is about agreement between subject and verb 2. And without any further ado, let's get straight to the video. First of all, I need to explain about what is the definition of noun. Noun is a word that is the name of something, such as place, person, animal, quality, things, idea, or action, and is typically used in a sentence as subject or object of a verb or as an object of preposition. Definition of agreement noun. Agreement noun is the situation in which people have the same opinion, or in which they approve of or accept something. For the example, the whole family was in agreement with her about or on what they should do. And if the three parties cannot reach agreement now, there will be a civil war. Basic subject-verb agreement. Subject and verb must agree with one another in number. Thus, if a subject is a singular, its verb must also be a singular. And if the subject is plural, its verb must also be a plural too. For example, the dog loves people. The dog is singular subject and loves is a singular verb, and it will be correct. And then the dogs love people. The dog is plural subject and love is plural verb, and it will be correct. And for a tip, to determine whether a verb is singular or plural, ask which form of the verb you will use after the subject it and which form you will use with the subject they. For the singular example, it eats, sleeps, wishes, has run, has loved, and is dreaming. And for plural example, they eat, sleep, wish, have run, have loved, and are dreaming. And for another tip, although a noun that ends in an s is usually plural, and a verb that ends in an s is usually singular. A third person singular verb in the present tense to be precious. For example, Jill loves hiking. And then we talk about different categories of noun. Number one is common noun. A common noun refers to a person, place, or thing, but it's not the name of a particular person, place, or thing. For the example are animal, sunlight, and happiness. And number two is proper noun. A proper noun is the name of a particular person, place, or thing. It usually begins with a capital letter. For the example, Abraham Lincoln, Argentina, and World War. Number three is collective noun. A collective noun is a noun that names a group of people or things, such as flock or squad. It's sometimes unclear whether the verb for a collective noun should be singular or be a plural. And number four is countable noun and uncountable noun. A countable noun is a noun that can be used after a, or, and, on, or after a number, or another word that means more than one. And uncountable noun refers to something that cannot be counted. And uncountable nouns are normally not used after the word a, or, and, or after a number. Some nouns are not countable or uncountable nouns. Nouns which only ever refer to one thing are called singular noun. For example, Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun. And a plural noun refers to more than one person or thing, or sometimes to something that has two main parts. Plural nouns have only one form and are used with plural verb form. For the example, townspeople are invited to a forum on the project.
Hello everyone, I'm Eka Artajayanti. I would like to continue the presentation to tell about a particular noun can have any or all of these kinds of use. Number 1, with any of, each of, either of, neither of, or none of, and a plural noun or pronoun, we can use a singular or plural verb. However, we are more likely to use a singular verb in careful written English. For the example number 1, each of the children receive a present. For the example number 2, neither of the football teams has arrived yet. And the next, number 2, with a or the majority of, a number of, a lot of, plenty of, all of, or some of, and a plural noun or pronoun, we use a plural verb. But if we say the number of, we use a singular verb. For the example number 1, a number of students came late this morning. For the example number 2, a lot of dirty water hit the villagers' home yesterday. They moved to the other village. Next, number 3. After one of and a plural noun or pronoun, we use a singular verb. However, after one of plus plural noun or pronoun plus who, we can often use either a singular or plural verb, although a plural verb is more grammatical. For the example number 1, one of the reasons I took the job was that I could work from home. For the example number 2, he's one of those teachers who insists on pupils sitting silently in class. For the next, number 4, with any of, none of, the majority of, a lot of, plenty of, all of, some of, and an uncountable noun, we use a singular verb. For the example number 1, just remember to drink some. For the example number 2, many people think she's the villain in the story. Next, number 5. With every or each and a singular noun or coordinate noun, X and Y, we use a singular verb, or for each of, see above. For the example number 1, each customer want to be heard out. For the example number 2, every student has a different way of learning. For the example number 3, each student told his or her way of learning. For the next, number 6, with everyone, everybody, everything, or an similar word beginning any, some, and no, we can use a singular verb. For the example number 1, everyone loves her. For the example number 2, everybody knows who is Jokowi. And for the example number 3, everything will be all right. All right, the next slide. Number 1, when a subject has two or more items joined by an, we usually use a plural verb. For the example, Jane and David are moving back to Australia. Next, the material number 2. However, phrases connected by and can also be followed by singular verbs if we think of them as making up a single item. For the example, meat pie and peas is Tom's favorite at the moment. Next, number 3. We use a singular verbs if the last item is singular, or although a plural verbs is sometimes used in informal English, and a plural verbs if the last item is plural. For the example number 1, either the station or the cinema is a good place to meet. For the example number 2, the president or his representative are to attend the meeting. Next, number 4. If the last item a singular and previous item plural. We can use a singular on plural verb. For the example, either the teacher or the principal is to blame for the accident. Number 5. In there plus be or have, we use a singular verbs form with singular and uncountable noun and a plural forms with plural noun. However, in informal speech, we often use a. Certain singular forms of be or have or theirs with plural noun. For the example number 1, over the last few years there have been many improvements in car safety. For the example number 2, there's been a lot of good films on lately. And next, number 6. We often do the same with how or her or where plus he or have. For the example, how's your mom and dad this day?
Okay guys, that's all from us. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye!